Welcome back to the podcast. Roll the intro.
Yeah, they call me a savage. How I'm putting in work. I hustle and grind, I put in the time, get what I deserve. Savage.
Episode 30, bro.
3-0, lucky number.
It's good. We're coming along.
Boys are pumping through, enjoying it.
Yeah. We've got a good routine down now.
Yeah, bro.
Even
It's
when we
gangster.
don't feel like it, we can sort of get something together, do a bit of planning the day
Exactly.
before and roll away. So we're going to talk about,
Last week.
we went and caught up with Mose Masoe. So do you want to give a little bit of a background of what he sort of went through with his injury?
Yeah, bro. So, first off, we knew Mose from a while back. Both me and you lived with him.
I lived with him for a few weeks.
Did I live with him?
We were talking about that. We had
Yeah, bro.
we were in the ghetto, but like back then it was sort of the ghetto, but now it's like
Yeah. Well, he came over from Wellington for 20s.
biggest
He's
human
a-
ever. He's a
Biggest
very
human.
big human.
We were talking on the way out. We're like, bro, he's such a big human, eh?
Yeah, when
And,
you first met him, you're like, whoa.
Well, he did very well, eh? You
Yep.
know, in the Roosters. There was 1 year, I'm not too sure what year it was, but he was just killing it, bro. He was a big animal. And you said he reminded you a bit of like Mace, right? Just a big human that knows how to hurt humans.
Yeah.
And
Very nice natured.
very
Which
nice
is,
natured.
the contrast.
Very smart human too, eh, bro? We spoke about that briefly before. But long story short, he went over to the Super League, just playing a couple of seasons over there, as you do, sort of at the back end of your career, and had a spinal injury, and now he's just been relearning how to move. How to
lost
walk
all his
again.
ability to walk and
Yeah.
everything, as you can imagine, and then had to go through that journey of,
Mhm.
life after footy,
That's it.
but actually, learning how to walk again and all those, processes. So he's on crutches, and I think that might be him he might need those on, to give him a hand for the rest of his life. So there's that side of footy that sometimes people don't see, and
Don't talk about either too, bro.
Yeah.
But it's good to see like the support that he's had too,
Right.
man.
it was awesome.
Yeah, I know, bro. And like, even the fact that Sia called us, guys that have known him for a fucking long time.
See ya. Greatest.
What a human, bro.
Mr. Soliola.
Mr.
Shout outs.
Soliola. And
Great human.
yeah, it's good to see the support, right? And even, was it last year, the year before, when they were all wearing the wigs for Mose during one of the NRL rounds? That's pretty cool for the game too, bro. And I think it's very important. And going up and catching up with him last week was cool. I really
Sia's a
enjoyed it.
big human too, eh?
Yeah, they're all fucking big humans, bro.
When I first came to Roosters with the Bondi units, he was in there. He was
one of the-
living in there. So I came across with my older brother as well, and they got on real well. And he was my age, but he was very mature, I found. And then, he's like such a, I don't know.
Calming. He's like a calming presence. Then at the same time, he's
very mature, but like a little kiddie side to him too as well, like which is a good laugh. And like he was like a man child
yeah, man.
when he was
Well,
coming through the
he went
grades.
to Marcellin when he first came over here, and I think he had only had 1 year down at Randwick at the high school there. And I remember just seeing him at training for the first time. I was like, bro, there's no chance this bloke's 18 or 17 years old.
The size he is in NRL was the size when he was like coming through the grades.
Exactly.
And he was like, he debuted super young as well.
Yeah, man.
18, 19 probably. And he was playing Prem League when he was at under 20s age. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And he messaged us last week, long story short, weeks before that, and said, we're just going to catch up with Mose down at Coogee Legions, I think it's called.
Yeah.
And me and the bro, after we finished our session on Thursday, went down and caught up with the bro, got to see everyone. There was lots of
a lot of other boys there too.
yeah, man, it was real cool to see everyone.
Trip down memory lane. we called it.
100%, bro.
Even driving through the eastern suburbs. I won't tell you any of those stories, but
It was crack up, man.
We'll keep those
Oh,
ones
do you remember that, bro? Do you remember that? Remember when we lived there, bro? Fuck, it was good, bro. I really enjoyed it, eh?
because I think I lived with Skid as well, Sean Kenny Dow.
Yeah. At the Coogee house?
Maybe only for 1 or 2 weeks over that side, and then me, him, and Frank lived together
That's right.
over in Zetland. So
Were you living with Frank before me or after me? When Remember we were talking about that fucking hallway that I stayed in, bro? What the fuck, eh? Oh, things you used to do as a youngin'.
I think that was after. I was before you, maybe.
I think one of them moved out because you had the room.
2 stints at Newtown.
Yeah.
The earlier stint, then I went away, and then I came back. Yeah, I can't even remember. So long ago. But Howard Street, that was a good.
9A Howard Street. We drove past there too. That was cool to see. The house is getting done up. What's doing?
And then we lived together. Remember Rosebery? Yeah.
It was a long times ago, bro. Long time.
It's funny. You live everywhere when you're young. Good boy. So So catching up with the boys. Sort of good to see where everyone's sort of
heading.
Yeah, gone into their lives. We had Sammy P there. I didn't catch up with him enough. I was in that other room and then I seen him and caught up with him.
He's in the construction game, right?
Construction.
But he was doing that during too. I remember I
think he was smart enough to transition before. Didn't he get all his builder's stuff?
Yep.
Which was a good conversation. I was speaking to Jamie Burra there. And he's with the RLPA with Tommy.
With Tommy, yep.
So they look after a lot of the footy players post-career and they have a transition period. And, he was sort of saying how they try and help out with the footy players when they're about to retire.
Yep.
And it's better to start 2 years before,
a
year before than,
100%.
Because all of a sudden, as you know, probably I know, like you never know when it's going to happen. It could be like Moss's situation where he got injured.
Yep.
Or you could just not get a contract.
Yep.
And, you don't want to do the Super League part. Like Jamie said, he was like, I'm pretty content with how everything went. I think he got a premiership, origin match. He's good. He was like, he had a young family, probably like 3 or 4 kids, he was saying. He's like, I think I'll just hang around Australia. So he made that decision. But some people don't get that option. Like
at all.
It's just like...
But then again, it brings you back to like utilising the network that you have too, right? There's a lot of older guys that have been there and done that. And if you can just have, maybe a meeting with them or even just call up, because there's heaps of information out there, especially with the RLPA, and they're doing a really good job, bro. So it's good to speak to Tommy about that sort of stuff. And they're willing to look after the players if the players have the balls to actually go in and ask some questions.
Was there an RLPA when you were?
There was, bro.
Earlier Rooster years or?
Earlier Rooster years. They started...
it's come a long way though.
I remember the first thing that, sort of stunned everyone was when they organised that retirement fund. So as soon as it got to like 2010 or something, they'd take a bit of your salary away and then put it towards the retirement fund. So long story short, because footy is only a 10 to 12 fucking year period, or maybe even less, after you finish your career, you're able to access that. So it'll be like a superannuation fund. If you're hitting 60 years old and you can get that money, it's the same thing after a footy career, which is cool, man. Which was good for me too, because it helped set me up for a couple of years leaving football.
I think Jamie brought up that like a big thing with footy is the financial side, getting that organised, because you're coming off massive contracts,
massive coin,
and you're living that lifestyle of like the top players getting 1.2 mil, and then everything the bottom players getting 150 a year, which is not. And when you relate that back to a normal job or society, it doesn't add up.
Yeah, it doesn't add up.
So it's just preparing for that and making sure, you got something to go to after your career. You haven't spent all your money and all those things as well.
I suggest, like, this is probably a good point for everyone. I suggest if you're still in the game and you're, on the back end of your career, like what I did, is getting a life coach. And I don't know if anyone, listening out there knows of a lady called Judy Fitzgerald. She was big in the NRL and she was a life coach. She was a person that helps the transition coming away from football, which is really important because it can get scary. It got really scary for me because I didn't know what I was going to do when I came down to Sydney. My thought process was I was going to go straight into baggage handling, but then I ended up getting an NRL gig, which is, obviously a double bonus for myself. But that transition out is super important. Doesn't really matter what time or where you are in your footy career. I think the earlier that you can start thinking about it, I wouldn't call it a plan B, but something that's in the back of your head, going to the back end of your career.
Because it does end.
It does end. It's a really good and important point.
Yeah, it's funny that footy thing, because you think you're old when you're 20, but then you realise you got like 60 years left. You know what I mean? And then you got all this life left, and you've done this part of your life that's been super enjoyable, done that, and then bang, life hits you.
It was even cool to see like the boys who aren't really involved in the game, besides Boyd, because you saw Boyd Cordner. He was he's still doing some stuff with the Roosters, but a conversation with him was, he's taking his time, getting into like the coaching role side of things, but he didn't want to rush into it and get burnt out straight away, which is a real good sort of mentality to have, especially when you're coming out of the game. Then you've got Friendy, who we saw, he's in the plumbing business, and then you've got Connie. Yeah, that was a cool convo, bro. And I'm looking forward to going out and checking out what he's doing.
Yeah, so he's got the
Ballers Nation.
Yep. So gym with
I'm not too sure, bro.
The fucking
you know
what I mean?
Hyperbaric fucking chamber, whatever it's called. The chambers.
Yeah. And then we had Sia, so he does the
well-being
for Canberra. Who else was there?
Solomona.
Solomona, good to catch up with him. He did the mobility program. Yeah. That was cool because, I don't know. My name must have came up with in some conversation and just helping players transition.
Yeah,
and
I think that'd be cool, bro.
Yeah, they said my name popped up with the mobility stuff that I was doing, and I was like, oh, that's cool. And then Jamie Burrow came in and he was like, oh, we're just talking about you. Like, oh, sweet. And then David said that as well, but I'd only communicated with him online because he went through my mobility program. Tight as, but
every footy player is tight as.
Great guy.
Great dude,
and
bro.
It was just, I think at the meeting or whatever he had, which I didn't know what that was going on, he said, yeah, bro, that's a good program to do, and it's probably beneficial for these footy players to go through. So that was cool.
Yeah, that would be cool, bro.
I was like, yeah.
I think a lot of, especially coming out of footy, man. Like I've realised that being able to strip back and sort of look after the body a little bit more for myself has really helped me, one, tick over the brain, because you finish footy and then all of a sudden you stop fucking training. That's what happens to a lot of us, right? Or you go into the workforce and you're like, this is not enough for me. I need something to tick over in the back of my head and at the same time for the body as well. So I think that'd be cool, bro. Like if, whatever happens, that they could have some sort of a transition phase when it comes to training, which would be nice for them as well.
Yeah, which all the guys, I think just relating to them of what injuries they've gone through, it's just, bro, it's easy.
Easier.
We're doing it already anyway, so, we know what they've been through, we know what injuries, what they're going to do after footy and what they're going to go through. It's just very simple, I find.
And I think it'd be cool just to get access to guys like ourselves too, bro. They get to have conversations with, well, I know that you didn't play NRL, but still you're doing really big things in your realm. And, I'm slowly working my way through that too. And being able to have a conversation with someone that's, done what they've done, and then sort of give you a lot of understanding of what's, what you can do after footy.
Yeah, I think that skill factor, we're speaking about that skill belief sort of traits thing. I think as a footy player, you need to just build up your skills. And if you can do that through your career, awesome, but then after your career as well, depending what avenue you want to go in. I think like social media is super underutilized. That would be a kickstarter to anything they want, like any business you want to, all those networks, any businesses you want to start using, your fame. Like
100%. You got to utilize it. Leverage, bro. Leverage.
It's a big form of leverage. So it was good to see all the boys ripping in and all that.
Nice to have conversations with them, eh? It's cool to fucking rub shoulders.
Did you feel a bit old though?
Oh, yeah.
I felt like, oh man, I'm getting old.
But I was getting excited, bro. And I was seeing them all. I was like, oh man, this feels like fucking old school days. And like whacking hands. Everyone's like, oh fuck, Chira hasn't changed. I was like, no, I haven't, motherfuckers.
It comes back heaps natural, eh? Like around the boys, like we don't have that team environment. And I think we spoke about after where like every year you have a new set of mates, like another 20 mates each year. And then you have your old mates that you get to socialise every day with, especially being in full-time like you were. Yeah. Like it's every day with the same guys. You go into the same changing room. So you form those bonds and then you're going off to war together on the Saturday.
Yep.
You got to look after the guy next to you on your left and right. And
that's
then,
it.
You form those. It's
different, bro.
It's different.
It's different, bro. And that's like a lot of people don't understand that, like what we go through. And I think that's why they are easy to point fingers and be like, okay, these guys are getting paid so much money. They're getting through so much given into them. But at the same time, the war mentality that we have on the weekends and the camaraderie that we build is why it's super enjoyable. And at the same time, while we can separate and go away for 5-6 years, go live life, and then come back together, and we're all just like,
Yeah, it's just an automatic
man.
click, eh?
It's cracker, bro.
Yeah, I don't think you'll get that in any other type of
Any
environment.
other type, bro. But yeah, I feel like you can create that with whatever you're doing too. It's just a matter of, how much purpose you got behind it, what's your mindset with whatever you're doing, and stuff that me and you are pretty much working through in terms of business right now.
It was really good people too, eh? It's just like, fuck, it was good to see them, you know? You
Even seeing D, bro.
Oh, D, yeah.
Bro, that was cool seeing her, man. So
Yeah.
long story short, D looks up the finances, and I was just cracking up. I was like, "Oh, D, remember that time I was in Bali and I had no money, and I asked for an advance?" And she's like, "Anthony, it still hasn't stopped. It still happens right now.
It's just the same stuff.
Fuck, it just rotation, bro."
Yeah, so now it's good to catch up with everyone through the office and all the supporters. And
Miss Kathy, but it'll be good to see.
Oh,
Kathy.
yeah.
Kathy King. Fuck, some old names.
It's like the
bro.
furniture at Roosters.
Oh,
so it's
mate.
good. Good people. It's good to have those people around, you know?
Yeah, I love that place, bro. And like I was even talking to D, man, she was saying how a lot of the guys that are still working there back in the day. And, even the secretary her name's Kel, secretary there, her son is playing, I'm thinking maybe flag or SG ball. And I was like, fuck, that's real cool to hear, man.
Yeah, the Roosters. They got
the
they got a
Roosters.
good system and family and how they keep
100%.
everyone together. It's
Uncle
awesome.
Politis.
But yeah, that's about it.
That's it, my bro.
Oh, one actually, I'll just finish with this. But know how we're going through that RLPA or whatever, they might reach out. I was thinking like just a monthly event, retired players come back,
Yeah.
do a little.
I think they had one. Oh, I don't know if it was
training session.
That'd be cool.
30 minutes training, 30 minutes catch up for a little coffee feed,
Yeah, man.
and then go do your business again. Like just once a month would be good.
That would be cool.
And then I can run their own online programs and
Let's show, let's
sort their
go.
bodies out after footy.
Shot,
All
bro.
good, bro. Short one. Shot.
Thank you.
Yeah, they call me a savage. How I'm putting in work. I hustle and grind, I put in the time, get what I deserve. Savage.